This is a nice crowd, isn't it, huh?
US President Donald Trump surrounded himself with women and girls as he made a ref's call on sex in sports. His latest order requires sports groups that get federal funds to enforce restrictions based on sex rather than gender, with consequences otherwise.
You will be investigated for violations of Title IX and risk your federal funding. There will be no federal funding.
Mr. Trump isn't the only one to turn his focus to how transgender people may participate in sport. That question is at issue in Minnesota's Supreme Court. The court is yet to rule on transgender athlete J.C. Cooper's years-long legal effort to compete in the USA Powerlifting women's division.
Ms. Cooper was denied that right solely because she is transgender. We are confident that the Supreme Court will agree that USAPL's policies violate the Minnesota Human Rights Act.
We have an MX division. And that was our adjustment and solution to make a place for people to compete. We invite people to be who they want to be, as long as we can preserve fairness for all of our categories of competitors.
Mr. Trump's executive order defines sex by pointing to his Day 1 decree that differentiates what sex a person belongs to at conception by the type of reproductive cells they make. Zygotes don't make reproductive cells at conception. These orders on sex from the executive branch are part of a whole-of-government push, with Congress looking at regulating surgeries.
Certainly the president would support Congress's efforts, as he has already made that very clear this week.
This is going to affect people's mental health. I'll admit it's affected mine, and I'm 53 years old. I mean, but for young people coming up, especially for these kids, and especially in middle school and high school, this is very difficult. This is brutal on them. It's harsh on their families, and don't think that this is the end of it.
The Trump administration's early actions have started to face pushback on the streets. But for publicly funded sports in the US, this is the captain's call for now. Loughlin Patrick, ABC News.